Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to Honcast.com, live here from our Hontour studios, and we are ready for another great day here. And we are now sponsored by this. No, we're not really, though. Anyways, we're now ready for another great day here on Honcast, as we're going to be kicking things off today, of course, with our weekly Honcast Podcast. With that said, I'm Breaky CPK, as always, joined by Tral. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. Yeah, we're sponsored by The Naked Truth. All-natural fruit boost.
You drink this a lot, man. You must love
You know
this
who got me into this?
Who's
you know,
that?
Are you watching the stream at all, Sam?
Ugh.
Sam got me into
I'm
this.
in the call, man.
Oh, I don't
Are
know
you
if you're
watching the stream,
the,
Sam?
Yeah, that stuff owns, dude.
It
it's
does.
the future.
It's only $8 for this entire thing, but
Yeah.
it's really good.
It looks disgusting, though.
Well,
But
that's actually
yeah.
it says right here. Looks weird, tastes amazing. Look at that.
that's quite the
Looks weird, tastes amazing.
quite the quote.
Yeah.
All right, so Tralf
By the
is
way.
doing good. Good to hear. Sam, you are also joining us once again, aka MilkFed. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. A little bit sick, but I'm doing good.
That's good. That's good to hear. Beef from Complexity, also joining us once again. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. I'm happy to be back home. Had a LAN event last weekend, and that went awesome. And
That's right.
glad to be here for another podcast.
Yeah, how was that LAN event? Of course, you were at Howie's Game Shack in Southern California.
It was really awesome. Got to meet a lot of the competitive players. Got to meet a lot of fans. And, we went until 3 o'clock in the morning to finish up the finals. In the end, team Where's My Headset Beef, a.k.a. Leon Black's team, did end up winning. Gave out a whole ton of cases of Monster, gold coins, Panda plushies, and, of course, $2,000 in cash.
Nice.
So it was a great night.
Was that their
Yeah.
team name?
Team Where's My Headset Beef,
What
yeah.
the okay. Good
Hey,
stuff.
Beef, I heard your what's it called?
The
Your impression?
yeah,
I
the
love
Macho
it,
Man slash
Yeah.
That was
yeah.
fun.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. I actually got the chance to check that out myself. Quite the introduction there. Anyway, so yeah, okay. So it sounds like you had some fun there at the LAN event. It is good to see the success of those things. Not only going into it, we're surprised to hear a lot of the players that apparently were going to be going, but it sounds like that it was also had a great time. So you get any a lot of pictures and stuff? I mean, is there anywhere we could check those out or?
Actually, there was a photographer out there that I believe was brought up by
Penman?
S2. What's that?
Penman.
Penman was there?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, Penman was there.
And, he took tons of video and pictures, so
Awesome. Where can we check that out?
I have no clue.
Okay. Well, they're somewhere on the internet. So
We're making like a 3.0 video. We basically have video footage from all the LAN centers that we did stuff at
Oh, okay.
around the world, so including Europe, and we're just basically put all the pictures together and create like a little video. So hang tight. They'll come out soon.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So looking forward to checking that out. Anyways, welcome to the Honcast Podcast. Obviously, what these are all about. Well, basically, really just the last week and a look ahead also of competitive Heroes of New Earth. That's our big focus here. We got our 4 hosts here, and we just have some fun. It's more of a laid-back style of cast as those that may have tuned in the past. It's just about really having some fun, entertaining you guys, and also keeping the information up. We got a lot of information once again today to go over. So with that said, we're going to talk about, of course, the Hontour cycle number 5, how that's going, and how we expect it to finish. We got the GSL qualifiers coming up, and breaking news on that. We actually were just released the brackets for that GSL. That's, of course, the qualifiers for the Thailand event. Which 2 NA European teams will qualify for that? Well, we got the brackets. That starts on Monday. We're going to go ahead and discuss that a little bit later on, so it's going to be fun looking at that. So, but to start off the show, we figured, of course, now it's interesting. Okay, I'll just put it that way. We got, of course, this big announcement that we made here recently, Tralf.
Yeah.
And, of course, so unfortunately, you are going to be leaving Honcast here. Now, today was originally going to be your last day, but hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Kind of an interesting take here. Well, it turns out. I'll go ahead and let you explain the situation. How about that? So,
well, there you go. I was planning on actually playing for OTP this weekend in the cycle, but they wanted to actually run out the rest of the cycle with the 5 members that they already had before doing any changes. And I respect that. I think that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And they looked so good up to this point anyway with the 5 members that they're playing with, and I think that's totally cool with them. So I will not be playing. Therefore, I will have time, and I will be able to cast, actually, that game among the other games that are going on this weekend.
darn. No, obviously that's awesome, guys. That's great news. So Tral from Midor will be casting this weekend. Or then it sounds like at the end of this weekend, though, then it'll all be over. But like we've talked about, I mean, I think it makes a lot more sense in the end. It is good that is happening, in my opinion. The fact that OTP, they want to finish off the cycle playing with the same 5 roster, and we got to have Tral at least to finish off cycle number 6 here, or cycle 5, excuse me, for Honcast. So definitely looking forward to that. Yeah, I mean, once again, you kind of made this announcement, so going back on the whole announcement where you are eventually going to be leaving Honcast. We talked about it several times yesterday on the cast that we did of, it was State Green versus State Green versus, Q Squad, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
State Green won that series 2 games to 1. If you didn't check it out, it was a great series. That was, of course, for Han Tour. But if you once again, just one more time kind of here today, Tralf, just kind of explain the situation on where things stand and why this decision was made.
Well, what prompted me was, and I've said this a couple times, but my girlfriend actually got a job offer in Vancouver, BC, in Canada, and that was really exciting for both of us, especially her, and a great opportunity for her, and I wanted to support that. So it's a software developing job, and we'll be moving out there in Vancouver in about a month, and that's kind of prompted me in thinking about, my time at Honcast and what I wanted to do and what I wanted to pursue further, and there's no question that a part of me still wanted to play competitively, and I decided to make I made the decision that that's the route I would go for, and channeling that through playing with OTP for the remainder of Han Tour. So
there you go.
I got a question for you, Chalf. I was reading on the forums. People say that you are engaged. Is that true?
I mean, no.
Okay.
Engaged.
Just making sure.
All right.
A lot of people are saying that, like, oh, Tral's engaged to Lisa, that's why they're moving away, they're getting married. I just wanted to,
but stay tuned for more
Just
information.
wanted to make that clear.
Yeah, because everything I read on the forums is true.
It's 99% true, clearly, because this one apparently wasn't. But
I heard you just broke up with your boyfriend. Is that?
Oh,
no, not at all.
no.
You guys are
You're
still
We're
together?
doing great.
Good to hear. Good to hear. All right, so. But with that said, so obviously both Sam and Beav, we'll start with you, Sam. I mean, what is your take on this? Anything you want to say to Tralf on this whole situation?
Yeah, Sam.
Oh, you really put me on the spot for
Yeah.
this. Yeah, I mean, I think Tralf's one of the coolest guys I've ever met. It's hard to find a competitive gamer that is as talented as Tralf, that has his passion and is downright just a really good guy. I mean, he's a good boyfriend, he's a good friend, and he's always there when you need him. Whenever he borrows my car, he always offers to pick me up beer. I'm gonna miss him a lot. It's gonna be sad. He's a funny guy. He always cracks a lot of jokes, and we're gonna miss him.
We are. Beef, anything from you?
Well, I mean, Tralf, you and I haven't had the opportunity to work together too much, but I've always loved casting with you, and always loved casting the games that you're playing in as well. So I'm excited that I'm going to get to cast some more of those, but sad to see you go as a caster. I had the utmost respect for you in that role, but glad to see that you're at least not leaving the scene, that you're going to be playing those games, and that we'll still get to interact pretty frequently. So wishing you the best of luck, and sorry to see you go, but happy to see you happy.
Yeah, awesome. I gotta say too, if you're casting my games, as I told Breaky before, that any misplays or misstuns or
Lag.
is completely lag.
Just lag.
We all know how bad Canadian internet is. So.
It's true. It's true.
Have to deal with that. No, yeah, I think both of you, Beef especially, made the point. In the end, Tralf is still going to be staying around the Han scene. That's ultimately what is the cool part. How we at least got to be covering Tralf now once again as a player. So, all right, though, just wanted to get that out of the way first things first here. Kind of that.
What about you, Breaky?
That's yeah, I've given my take several times, but okay, I'll do it once again. Obviously, Tralf Midor has been a great co-caster of mine. I mean, it's definitely been a great experience. I've stressed in text several times that. It's definitely made me a better caster as well, and I think that's been noticeable by the viewers as well as myself. I mean, the knowledge that Tralf has definitely brought to the table, and it's going to be hard to replace him. But at the same time, Honcast will move on, just as your career will move on, and I really am looking forward to actually casting you as well as the future of the Han scene. So it's going to be fun to see where things go from here. So there you go.
One of the things that I'm looking forward to the most is now that I have another really good friend that's going to be in the competitive scene. So, a lot of time I'll bug, my friends like, hey, you guys, what do you guys think about this? What do you think about this? And Tralf's very outspoken. So whenever I need advice on, Han Tour, tournaments or anything, I know that I always have Tralf to go to. So that's always cool.
Yeah. Getting emotional in here.
Oh.
No, but with that said, again, kind of the sweet news is here. We are going to be casting this weekend, so we were kind of setting up for this to be the final day here with Tral. But special news, in case if you are just tuning in, Tral will now be actually casting this weekend as well. So we'll have more emotional moments then at the end of the Sunday's cast, I'm sure. So we can look forward to that. Anyways, I think it is time, though, to move on here with the podcast. There is plenty to get to. And, with that said, of course, I think the obvious one to start with is, well, on tour cycle number 5. Obviously, we had another great weekend in the books here, and I'm going to go ahead and I do got the brackets on my screen myself, so I want to pull that up here and take a quick glance at actually how certain matches played out. I think it's safe to say the big surprise about this one for all of us kind of had to be the whole one-trick pony situation. Go figure, Tral. The team that you are going to be joining here. But one-trick pony making it all the way to the winners bracket finals. There you go, as you can see on your screen. I mean, and they beat SmackDown Syndrome in the first round, so, not the toughest right earlier on, sure. But then they took out Stay Green 2-0 out of nowhere. Exhibit playing that chipper and played amazingly, apparently.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they took out Lion 2-0 to eventually move on to the winner bracket finals. So, again, there's obviously a lot of results here to talk about, but that no doubt was a big one for me. I want to go ahead and pass it around. I mean, what to you guys stood out, Trell?
Well, absolutely that. I mean, OTP, this is the best they've done so far. And I didn't get a chance to watch the game. I think, actually, Beef, did you cast those games of OTP versus Stay Green?
I did not, actually. I was at Howie's still, and
okay.
Unfortunately I wasn't casting that day.
Well, I was monitoring every once in a while, and I just saw it looked like a blowout, honestly.
I watched them, yeah. It was a blowout.
and yeah, with Chipper, I think he was in, well, maybe not both games, but yeah, Zibit on Chipper was it was their aggressive play style that they've been trying to work on. And I've been, had to have the privilege to work with them as well, and they're very aggressive early on. And when they draft this aggressive lineup, it's very difficult for teams to get used to that because most of the teams are right now in the med game so passive. That was awesome for me, but I think the biggest thing is Complexity having their worst cycle so far.
They finished 7th, 8th place,
and this is with their new roster, so to speak, or the addition of Riser to the roster, which. Again, a lot of people, and for good reason, were thinking, Rise, this is going to be awesome. Rise is an amazing jungle player, and this is going to solve all of Complexity's problems. But I was a little more speculative and thinking, okay, well, yeah, Rise is a great player, but they were having problems long before Riser joined their roster when Chessie was still there. And they got to do something to change this because it's starting to get, you're waiting for them to get out of the slump, but it just keeps the team getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
So that, I think, was the biggest surprise to me in this last cycle, or this cycle coming up.
Mm-hmm. Sam, what about you?
I'm going to go with, almost what Tralf said is that Complexity losing early, that was a huge surprise to everybody. It's just Lions, man. What is it about Lions? Lions, do we have the stats on that, by the way, Breaky?
Yes, Statman here. We do got that. Yeah. Complexity, now, it's interesting because actually Complexity is 6-7 overall in individual games. So it's actually fairly close there because in the beginning, Complexity was defeating Lions. But it's lately where the last 3 series actually have been in favor of Lion Esports Club, including cycle number 5 here. So Lions, again, safe to say they have Complexity's number as of late, at least. So,
yeah, another thing that is worth pointing out is Absolute Legends. They're doing fantastic this cycle. Cycle 4, they actually dropped down to gold. They ended up going to gold. They actually got 2-0'd by We Are Spy or SDS in the winners bracket, 2-0'd by SDS in the losers bracket. So they were not looking that good. They came into this diamond cycle. And I actually think that they did really well. They 2-0'd We Are Spies, who was a really good team. And the only team they've lost to so far is Trademark Esports, who's considered the best team in the world right now. So going down the losers bracket, they beat Afraid, and then they beat 10 Pencils. And they actually haven't lost a game except to Trademark. I think that they're riding this momentum. For the first time in, I'm going to say, 2 months, I've seen them scrimming every single day this week. They are just crushing scrims. They're doing really well. They're active, and they really want to get better. And I think it's because they really want to go to Thailand. They think that they have a really good shot, and I think they do too.
Great point.
I'm going to guess that Absolute Legends beats Lions.
Ooh.
I think it's going to be an amazing game. And one more thing to add on to that is they have a new addition to their roster of Present 23, who was formerly of We Are Spies. And he's actually a really damn good player. So with the addition of him onto the roster now, I think they are taking things a little more serious. And they are, to be honest, a streaky team. Like, they'll have some, for obvious reasons. I mean, like you said, in the last cycle, they did drop down to gold and then didn't perform so well. But, damn, yeah, they're actually looking really, really good this cycle.
Yeah.
I'd also like to announce something. Clan Milk is officially a diamond team now. They are.
Past their games yesterday.
Yeah, there's only 3 teams left in gold, and Clan Milk is one of them. So that means you guys will see them in the diamond bracket. I mean, fantastic.
What's the deal with this new Clan Milk team? I mean, who are they?
You know, that's for the world to find out next week.
Formerly known as
Love to see.
Endemic, right?
Yeah.
By Zatron.
It's got a lot of the SBT guys on. It's got Distortion, Repugnance, Formless.
Repugnance is good.
They're all really good. Their strategies are really good as well. It's really nice watching them watch. It's refreshing. And speaking of new strategies, have you guys been watching Stay Green's scrims lately?
Yeah.
They're running a lot of really exciting lineups lately.
I think that's universal. I mean, Stay Green for sure, but I really think a lot of teams. I mean, we kind of saw that this last week, and we've seen some crazy heroes. Obviously, Exhibit Chipper is just one example. We've seen this Nomad hero kind of pop up a little bit more so, especially in that Wild Soul matchup. We've been seeing newer heroes lately, and it does finally seem like, and I say finally, but again, honestly, I think the mid is to an extent always shifting, but we are getting we're in a place right now where teams are realizing that what used to work is getting a little bit stale now, and they're trying to transition out of that. So we definitely are getting some exciting strategies and some exciting heroes out of that. So
well, the funny thing about that is I don't want to fray too much away, but I think the funniest thing is that the strategy of jungle, short lane carry, suicide of bubbles or whatever, and then 2 jungles and the dual lane mid, like it still works and works damn well. But the thing about it is teams are getting bored as hell out of it. I think that's what it is.
True.
I think the teams are just simply getting bored out of playing these 50-minute games where there's 10 kills total in 50 minutes. And the strategies works, but they've also found strategies that also work but are way more fun. I think that's honestly the bottom line. But
hey, if that's the reason, so be it.
And
that's
hey,
good for everyone.
As spectators, it's way more fun to watch those kind of games. But
I love it.
But one thing I think is worth pointing out is that OTP, they're in the winners bracket finals. This is the farthest they've ever gone. It's going to be great because a week from now, 2 weeks from now, we're going to have a direct comparison. With Tralf added, is OTP as good as they are right now?
There you go.
And if so Tralf, if you do not take them to the winners bracket finals next week, that was a bad play by them.
Let's just hope that they crash and burn right now.
The pressure is on.
Just want to throw that out there. Don't feel pressure or anything.
They are guaranteed a top 3 finish as a result of where they're at, and that will be their best finish, no doubt. So that is going to be exciting to see where One Trick Pony ends up. In fact, they haven't even finished 4th before. Their best finish was 5th and 6th place in cycle number 2.
This will be their best placing so far.
Yeah, definitely the best placing in even quite a while. So. Looking forward to seeing One Trick Pony now. They finished. I know, Beef. We haven't gotten your opinion yet on cycle number 5. What you thought about this last week, and anything else to you standing out about this last week in here?
I got to reiterate, I was really impressed with AL. I was very worried about them, especially I was talking with Mookies. He was out at that LAN, left at 3 in the morning, and he knew that he was playing against 007. Rookie was there. I said, who's going to win? And Mookies was not confident at all in their performance the next day. I was pleasantly surprised to see them do well. Cole versus Lion. Oh, well, yeah. But he wasn't confident in his team.
Oh,
they showed, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, actually, the other thing I wanted to bring up about Absolute Legends as we're talking about them is that we're going to get the chance to cover them this weekend. We're going to get the chance to cover them on Saturday against Lion. With this Stay Green Q Squad matchup, especially happening on Thursday because of the reschedule that we casted yesterday. A great series. It's set up for us to allow us to do that. So. Definitely looking forward to, again, seeing this Absolute Legends team. It's been a while since we've seen them, as you said, kind of a streaky team in a sense, but they've always been an entertaining team, a very entertaining team, and again, I am looking forward to watching them for sure. So,
the one other thing was TTEs. With their new roster, people are expecting a lot of different things out of them, and they certainly played their high-octane aggression style, but unfortunately going out 0-2 to Pencils. Then they were able to pull out a win over SmackDown Syndrome before ultimately falling 0-2 to Stay Green, finishing up in that 9th through 12th spot.
Yeah.
Their lowest placement yet, and just really close.
I believe they played Dober on Damp.
They played Dober on Damp, yeah. They beat Dober on Damp, but then they lost to TTE Sports.
Yes, sorry. Not SmackDown Syndrome, read the bracket wrong. So I don't know. It's going to be a long road for them to get back to where they were competitively, or maybe it's just going to require another week or two of practice and just trying to get their synergy right. But excited to see where they go from the future, but they were very, very close to actually dropping out of Diamond.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of the teams that are unfortunately going to be dropping out of Diamond, you're all looking at 007, so We Are Spies once again, that not able to just get past that hump. Dobron Damp, SmackDown Syndrome, and DMSN all going to be going back to that gold division. Now, a team that none of us talked about yet, just real quickly, is this TFR team, the Fire Rises, and how they did. We obviously got the chance to cover them against TDM in the first round. They took the first game against Trademark Esports, and I'm just going to be flat out, they should have won the third game against TDM. That Defiler play, Les QQ playing the Defiler, let's just say some not the best decisions, unfortunately, were made. It didn't seem like they were playing the best around that Defiler lineup, and TDM was ultimately able to pull it out. But they were this close to actually defeating TDM in the very first round and making this bracket completely different as a result. So in the end, they did end up defeating We Are Spies 2-1 in the first round of the losers bracket to barely stay in Diamond. But then, of course, they were actually knocked out by Complexity 2-0. So, but yeah, I mean, any thoughts on TFR, guys, that you guys have? Tral, we'll start with you.
No, I totally agree with you. I think they definitely should have won that third game. There was just not enough grouping up as Defiler. And when you pick a hero like Defiler, it really needs to be centered around that hero. You can't just split farm. You can't wait for the team that has, the physical damage. I don't exactly recall what the other team had, but I just knew at the time that they did not do enough grouping up, and that when they did group up, I remember they actually had the Token of Life on Defiler, and I remember mentioning that was really strange, because that's not a hero that you usually want a Token of Life on.
True.
Because if you pop your ultimate, you die with it, your ultimate goes away instantly. And I think that's actually what happened during the last team fight.
To me, it was the no Mystic Vestments for the longest time.
That
was the big thing, where we're just like sitting there like, 400 gold, just buy it, and never happened.
So very, very strong item.
Yeah.
Arguably overpowered.
So what about you guys? Sam, you have any thoughts on TFR from this weekend?
I mean, I think they did as expected.
Yeah.
I think that everybody expected them to come in and do pretty decent, and I think they did. They took a game off of Trademark. They beat We Are Spies, who I actually consider a very good team. And they lost to Complexity, so I think that they fell where they're going to be. They're not going to beat, they're not going to beat TDM. They're not going to beat Complexity, but they're going to stay in that 16 to 9 area for at least a couple more weeks.
Yeah. Is there any update, by the way, on the points? Are they staying at the 881 that they were at going into this cycle?
Actually, after having there was a little bit of miscommunication between myself and some of the admins, and apparently stuff that happened earlier on in the season. After looking at the situation after this cycle, all their points are going to be removed, and then they're going to earn however many points that they earned from this cycle.
Okay. So they are just ultimately going to be starting from scratch in that sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting stuff there. Beef, anything that you want to add about TFR?
Like you guys said, that Trademark series, I got to monitor that a bit, and that was close. That was really close. It was kind of unfortunate they ended up having to go against Complexity in the second round of the losers bracket. But the first game in that series, they were pretty damn close to taking it from Complexity as well. Ultimately, just stopped a little bit too short. Glad to see that they're not dropping into gold. Glad to see that we're going to be able to see them in Diamond. But with all those points being removed, I mean, as long as they are in Diamond for the foreseeable future, probably for the rest of the season, if they stay in Diamond, they will have that bottom seed, and they will be going up against Trademark, presumably in the first round, for at least the next few cycles.
That's a really good point, actually. That I didn't even think about that. But, yeah, that means they're going to have that very tough matchup every single starting of Diamond. So, again, they've proven that they can at least compete with them, if not beat them. But that, no doubt, is a very tough way to start things off every single cycle. So. Now, with that said, we were planning on actually going to be joined by Insania here in the near future. So we are in the works of actually getting him on and going to talk to Insania about TFR, obviously, and how it really came together and how he thinks they're doing and what they may be able to do. But yeah, again, it was a team that series, man. It was kind of frustrating in a sense because they were just a win so close to taking out the #1 team in Trademark Esports, and that really would have changed the whole brackets. I mean, you look at now TDM, the fact that they're in the winners bracket finals here against a one-trick pony, of course. Obviously, that would have been completely different. So it's always kind of interesting to look at that. And so obviously, other than that, nothing too much else to refer to when it comes to cycle number 5 here, other than what's going to be coming up this weekend. So, going into the weekend now, We do got what is in total actually now 5 teams left actually with State Green and Q Squad playing lightly. But actually, until we get into that, real quickly, like I said, we are now actually joined by Insania, I believe, to talk about some TFR. Insania, how you doing, buddy?
He's still connecting to the call.
He's still connecting. Never mind. So we are in the works of contacting Insania, of course. But yeah, I mean the lineup that they have. By the way, what's the deal with Magix? Is this guy actually coming back?
I was told he was actually.
I feel like we should talk to Insania about that.
Good point. Good point. He is going to be joining us here any second. So
Maybe.
Yeah, just trying to get him on that call. Yeah, maybe he's dodging at the last second. Who knows? But yeah, on that note, I mean, I have heard rumors about Magix actually returning and apparently even possibly joining TFR. In fact, is he on the Hunter roster or anything like that? No, I don't see anything about that. But I heard rumors about that, and I don't know if there's truth to that. But hopefully we can maybe figure that out. Of course, anyone that has been watching Han for a while will definitely know the name Magix. He's a pretty old-school player himself. Played for Online Kingdom amongst other teams, including that NASL event. So. Has some strong, and we've been seeing a good amount of that. I mean, obviously, speaking of TFR, well, we have several players that have been kind of coming here on the competitive scene, and that's always, of course, great to see. Whether that's because of the success of Hunter or whatnot. Obviously, Bob's another example. Speaking of TFR, so yeah, it's good to see that with players.
Yeah, absolutely.
So again, I guess he's just not answering or whatever. So we'll just go ahead and move on here until he actually connects or. Maybe not, but anyway. So moving on. So now looking forward to this weekend. Is what I like to do is kind of get our thoughts on how we ultimately feel it might play out. So obviously we're dealing with TDM OTP. They're in the winners bracket finals. You got Absolute Legends versus Lions still to play in the losers bracket. Then the winner of that will then go on to play State Green and then kind of finish off the cycle from there. So with the teams that we have remaining, what do you guys think will be the finals matchup, and then who will win it all? Tral, we'll start with you.
The finals matchup?
Yeah.
Like the grand finals matchup?
Grand finals matchup.
It'll be OTP versus Trademark Esports. And OTP will win it all.
Damn.
Okay,
Shocker.
Trals.
But you're not
What,
playing.
Sam?
So
What?
You're saying that even without you, this team can win the grand finals, and then
Well, I hope not because of what
for
Sam
the pressure's
said earlier.
sake, right?
No, but I wanted to talk about the loser bracket, though.
Okay.
I think AL has a really, really good shot of taking out Lions. I really do. Like, I think that's going to be probably the most fun matchup we're going to watch for this entire weekend. If they do win, though, if they have to face State Green, I feel like State Green is just going to destroy them. I feel like State Green just has their number, sort of like how Lions right now has Complexity's number. So I think the AL could very well take a game off of Lions, but against State Green, if they're put it up there, I think it's going to be kind of iffy.
Yeah, State Green is 4-1 against Lions and 2-0 in series. So there you go.
There you go.
Busting out the stats.
Yeah.
I might as well use them, damn it.
Some pretty cool stats.
I went through it and collected all these, kind of just, figuring one day, hey, I might as well use these. So, anyways, I got to agree with you. The Absolute Legends Lions series, it really should be a lot of fun. And I am glad that we are going to get the chance to cover that to kick things off on Saturday, of course. So, Sam, what are your predictions? I'm finishing here.
I got Absolute Legends taking out Lions 2-1. I have Stay Green taking out Absolute Legends 2-0. I have Stay Green taking out OTP 2-0. I've got Trademark taking out OTP 2-0. And then I got Trademark versus Stay Green with Stay Green winning 3-2.
Oh, the come from behind. What just happened? All
And
right.
Trademark will win the first game, too.
Really? You think it's
Yeah.
gonna be
State
one of
Green's
those
actually
three
pretty damn
comebacks?
good about
Reverse
bouncing
kill?
back.
Yeah, Stay Green's phenomenal at coming back.
Yeah. They've proven that many times. So
In fact, I think it's better when they're down games. It's
Kinda
almost
gives
like
them
the
attitude
fire
of-
in them rises.
All right. Oh, the links.
Speaking of,
Speaking of that, good
Hi.
timing. Beef, we'll get to you after this, but I believe
right.
now we are joined by Insania. Insania, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
No problem. I don't know if you were tuning in, but we were just talking about TFR and your performance this last weekend. How it was definitely kind of an up and down performance. Well, TFR, so the fire rises. I think it's best to start with where did TFR come from, man?
The team name?
Yeah. Well, more so with the team in general, honestly.
Okay, the team in general. Well, it was kind of after the whole TDM thing, I was talking a lot to Kebab, and he was like considering coming back to Han. And I was like, why not just give it a shot? And he was like, yeah, sure, why not? We'll just see what players we can find and put the team together and see how it goes. Really, it wasn't really serious at all. And then we had like 4 or 5 scrims going into the first cycle of Han Tour. In like 1 hour, I don't know what it was, like a day before the Diamond League started, Emperor whispered me, and we got this amazing opportunity to kind of take over Domain of Pain. So we were all really happy about it, and then we were like, oh, TDM first round, okay, well, let's just try and not get raped. And then we did pretty good. I mean, we won game 1, and morale was super high after that, so it was really good. But then we kind of came back to the level which we probably belong at still, without any practice against Complexity. They really showed us our place.
Yeah.
But you stay in Diamond, which is the most important thing.
Yes.
Yeah, we get to play TDM for another 4 cycles.
Or you could beat TDM and place in the top 3 and earn your spot.
There's
Right,
that.
right.
There's that.
Right? Isn't that an option?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so stop being a little baby about it and win some games and earn your
Yeah.
spot.
We're gonna do it, don't worry.
Getting
right,
real
good.
on here.
Yeah.
Insania, though, I do want to actually go back to that TDM series real quickly, though. Obviously, we were covering it, and again, we were kind of talking about this. That third game, do you think we're being a little bit overreaction about it? The Defiler play, as far as, the team effort, around the Defiler. Do you feel like that game you guys maybe didn't make the best decisions, or do you think we're wrong on that?
No, I mean, I watched through the cast actually myself, and I've been reading the forums, and I must say, like, we agree. In hindsight, we completely agree. And I know Swindlebones was on me as well. He's like, dude, you have to pause the game and tell your team what to do in that kind of position. And I mean, I don't feel like it's too big of a deal because we're such a new team. If we would have had practice and would have played together, it would have been, of course, it would have been a huge misplay on our end, I feel. But since we're a new team, I'm happy with what we did.
Yeah.
And of course, yeah, we could have. I feel like we should have won that game, but oh well.
Yeah, and again, it's I'm sure it's got to be frustrating knowing that you were so close. But in the end, like you said, you're a very new team, of course, made literally just before the cycle started, and the fact that you had the performance you did, I think, definitely speaks for itself. So now I want to go. I'm kind of curious what you think about this. Now, I'm just gonna put this out there. A term that a lot of people are using, considering your team, has been kind of. As I've been saying, you got yourself, who eventually got cut from TDM. You got Skyzo, who got cut from Stay Green. You got Les QQ, a similar situation where he was kind of on Complexity, then not really. And then Shams, he was always a 6th man. A lot of people have been using this term, the rejects. I think that's a little bit too insensitive. But in that, you get where I'm coming from, though. It's just kind of these players that came together where they were kind of the 6th man, the players that got cut maybe. What do you think of being looked at like a team like that? I mean, is that something that you use as fuel for the fire, or what?
I don't really, I honestly don't mind that much. I don't really care about too much about it. But I think it's natural with the way Haunter works now that you've got really stable teams. Like, you're not going to have the 2-month teams when everything shifts around again. So this is what's going to happen. Like, if you want to start a new team, it's going to be with either a lot of unknown players, or it's going to be with the guys that got left from their teams, got dropped from teams, or whatever.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't really care too much about I mean, it's funny. So why not?
It's
named
hilarious.
my
It's
team
so
that.
funny.
Yeah.
Trals, do you have any questions for Insania here?
No, I hope the best for the team. I think you guys showed a lot of promise in that series against Trademark Esports, and I think that, if anything, is reason enough to keep playing and keep trying your best. But yeah, I'm looking forward to what you guys can do in the next cycle.
Yeah, thanks.
Sam?
Keep your chin up, man. I think that you guys are going to kick some big ass, and I think you guys have the potential to be one of the best teams.
Some Brazilian.
I'm looking forward to seeing your draft and your leadership.
All right.
Beef, what about you?
You guys need to kick it into high gear next cycle so you can get into the GSL qualifiers too. You need to win the entire cycle so that we can see you in that qualifier.
Third
Thailand,
place would
right?
do it. I actually
Third,
third, fourth would get you in it.
All right.
Really?
There you go. You got to do it. But good luck, good games, and look forward to seeing you play again next weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much.
Insania, any shout-outs you want to make here before we wrap up?
Well, a shout out to Kabab for coming back from Dota 2, and just quickly, because our team isn't really settled. Like the roster we played with last weekend isn't necessarily going to be the roster that's finalized. It's just like we took the 5 players that were available, so that everybody's aware. And that's it.
Well, actually, that brings up we were just talking about this right before we got you on. There's been rumors about a player called Magix coming back. Can you give us anything on that?
We were scrimming with him today until his internet dropped. So that's all I gave you.
Yeah, German internet, man.
Yeah, the German. I don't know what it is.
German everything. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Freaking Germans.
Our next guest is going to be German, by the way.
Oh, Scheiße.
What's that?
Before Insania goes, I think it would be fun to have him do what we're doing and how he thinks the rest of the cycle is going to play out.
Okay, well, I think Stay Green is going to make it to the finals, where they'll meet TDM. TDM, of course. And TDM's going to win it. Easy.
Easy?
Easy. No, it's going to be a great series, I think. But I think TDM's going to win in the end.
Okay. TDM is good, man. All right, so Insania, thank you for joining us, man. Talking a little bit about TFR, and obviously we are going to be watching. A lot of excitement around this team. Looking forward to seeing what you guys can do, man. Good luck, man.
Thank you.
Good luck.
There you go. Insania, the captain, of course, of TFR, a.k.a. the Fire Rises, joining us and giving us his insight and, again, just this last weekend and whatnot. So the strongest point that I think he did made is that it is a new team, man. I mean, sure, these are great players that are coming together, but it is a brand new team. A couple of days even before the cycle, apparently, they were kind of just forming and didn't really get too much time in terms of preparation. So the fact that you got an opponent in Trademark Esports and then later on having to deal with complexity, I mean, welcome to Diamond on one hand, but on the other, it's, it may take a little bit of time. But we'll see into the next cycle. You mentioned top 3 finish, 3, maybe even 4th can get them a spot in that qualifier for the GSL. So I'm sure that's something that they're keeping in mind as well. So,
yep.
Anywho, we, as I did say, we actually are going to be joined by our next guest here in the very near future. But in fact, I think he might be joining us here. Is he on now? Storyfooter. I know we're looking to get him on, of course, from Clan OTP. Storyfooter, are you there by chance?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Storyfooter, thanks for joining us, man. How you doing today?
Yeah, no problem. I'm doing just fine. And you?
Doing terrific. Thank you for asking. So, of course, we've been talking a lot about Han Tour in general. The big team to talk about, though, for several reasons, has been One Trick Pony. You guys had a great run here last weekend. You're now in the winners bracket finals as a result of that. What about this last weekend? Did you guys even know that you guys could do that?
Well, we were definitely confident that we are able to take out those teams, but I mean, SG and all those are really strong teams, so we need to shape up, and we trained a lot, even though we had in this cycle before a really bad one. And we were actually more or less surprised on our own.
Yeah. Is obviously the strategy that everyone's talking about, and we got to see a little bit against Lion. I know against State Green you used it twice. This chipper strategy, specifically from Xibe, where did that come from?
Well, we were thinking about a lot of stuff and about the current metagame, and it was all about that. If one team takes out or picks a carry and tries to take all the farm or put all the farm on that carry, and we were trying to make a team that has a lot of pickup potential plus a lot of map control, so we could always force the enemy team that they only group up as 5 and only get farm on that carry. And while we were split farming on a lot of heroes, and well, you saw the result. We had like Magnus with Hellflower and Shrunken and Chipper, and we could just jump the carry Hellflower and burst him down, and then the enemy team has nothing left.
So it's all about the burst damage, it sounds like, just that map control with the rockets, and there's just the burst damage.
Yeah, it's about more, of course. Like team fight, you need to be able to force the enemy team that they have to group as 5.
Yeah.
So you need jump potential plus team fight plus a little bit late game potential. I mean, those players who saw the matches against SG saw that we run Fade and Chipper carry with Savage Maze on Chipper and Wingbow and Fade and all that. And in the end, it worked out.
It worked.
Just
That's
because
awesome.
we had more farm.
You get a W. You get a win at the end of the day, and that's what matters, right? So, I got to know again. It's been a little bit now, but I want you to think back to Sunday against Lion Esports Club, game number 2. I don't know if you remember the exact moment, but there was a moment where Faye jumped in, and then she kind of baited the enemy team, and then she started falling back. In the meantime, you were actually channeling up your ultimate. All of a sudden, you jump in, you annihilate the Hellborn team, you take out Silhouette, I think it was, barely, and then that was kind of the successful push that ultimately won you guys the game. Do you know what I'm talking about, first off?
Yeah.
Yeah, the epic moment. I mean, what was it like for you guys with such a big play like that? How were you guys feeling after that Sunday, really?
We felt, of course, really good, and it was not something that we set up. The big play there. Mm-hmm. It was just that we went with Fate. Fusi was going to scout with his eye and saw the glaciers, I think, and then all of a sudden we saw all the enemy teams trying to get Fusi, and he ran back and tried to escape, and then we just turned it. So it was more like a moment that we took over.
It was an epic moment, that's for sure. So it was a lot of fun to watch, and again, it seems like you guys are now becoming more and more of a team that a lot of people are really intrigued by and entertained to watch. So that's got to be a good feeling. Now there's this whole topic of a good old Tral here. This is guy to my right. First off, again, this announcement was just officially made here recently. Tralf is going to be joining you guys now for this week, and you guys want to finish off, it makes sense with the 5 players that you have. But for the future, what does it mean for you guys? How excited are you guys to be playing with Tralf?
Well, we are actually really excited, simply because, I mean, no offense to Snowy and Archie. Snowy is a really awesome guy, and Archie as well. But Snowy is not a support player, and he has always been forced to play the hardcore support, while Archie played the jungler, and that also didn't really work out. So, and Tralf is a really awesome jungler, so he will play more likely the jungler, or we will see exactly if he will be playing the semi-support if we don't run a jungler. And Archie will take over the full support part.
Awesome. So Snowy is going to be there. Snowy, whatever you want to pronounce it.
How do you say his name, by the way? Is it Snowy or Snowy?
Snowy.
Snowy?
It's like snow. Snowy.
Like,
that's how I say it, but I'm German, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's going to be the player that you're ultimately going to be replacing. Gotcha.
Yeah,
okay, so yeah, obviously that's big news there, and we're all intrigued to kind of see what happens as a result of that.
Especially.
Sam especially. And so I want to now give you guys a chance to ask your questions here. Tralf, I mean, do you have any questions, or you're good?
I could speak German with him, but
okay.
I don't think anyone would.
Sam, what about you? You got any questions?
Yeah, are you going to win this cycle?
Well, we are, of course, looking forward. It will be a fight, but, I mean, if we are not confident, we would not have gotten to this point, so...
What about Trademark Esports? I mean, does Trademark scare you, or?
I would not say scary, just because if you fear a team, it's a lot more difficult to defeat them. It's more like we respect them really hard, because they showed every single cycle that they are really top 1 team, even.
Yeah,
so,
and plus if you've ever met them in person, you'll never find them scary.
True that. Beef has or not Beef. Killer Orange has a question.
Yeah, I got a quick question. Was bedeutet Storyfooter?
Was bedeutet Storyfooter? Storyfooter has 2 meanings. One meaning is like the birdseed, and the other meaning is like scattered food, like giving food to everyone. So I was laughing hard when you guys, I don't know, a year ago were talking about my name, and they said like, oh, that's like garbage food or something. I was like,
I think I remember that. Garbage food. We got a couple of German speakers here.
Futter is food. I thought Essen was food.
Yeah, but Futter is like for animals.
Oh, really? Okay.
Nah,
Killer
not
Orange,
really.
Tralf, Storyfooter. All right. Sam, did you have anything else?
I just want to say congratulations, man. You guys worked really hard. You guys have been around all season performing, and it's awesome to see that you're going to get at least a top 3 finish. You guys deserve it, so congratulations, man.
Oh, thank you.
Beef, any questions from you?
Yeah, I got to talk with Swindle Melons and Archie this week. And Swindle was saying that you guys definitely brought, your unique strategy. Archie was saying that he's a little worried going into this weekend that now that everybody has been able to see that strategy, see how successful you guys are with it, and there's lots of VODs and replays out there for them to look at, that he's a little bit worried that your strategy might be a little bit figured out. How do you feel about that?
Well, that's actually a really good point, and we were thinking about that as well. But we were also thinking about other new stuff, but I can't really reveal too much, and I can't even promise that we will show our unique strat at the weekend, just because if they put a lock pool that counters that hardcore or bans like a chipper ban, or I don't know, that we might not run that. And even if we run this, it might not work out, just because that point that they all are watching our games and know how to counter it. But of course, it might.
It's part of the game. I mean, the top teams all have to deal with that on a week-in basis. So, it's going to be fun to see against you guys against TDM and then going further. Beef, was there anything else?
No. Congratulations on making it so far. Good luck to you this weekend. Definitely going to be looking forward to those games.
Thanks.
Storyfooter, any shout-outs you want to make here, man?
Well, for my team, of course, Xibber for being an awesome chipper and always insulting me, and that helps me a lot. And Fusi, and Archie Tiger, and of course Snowy, and not to mention the last Tral, that he comes to us now and we can play with him.
And Owens. All right, good luck, man. Obviously, we are going to be watching this weekend and very interested to see how you guys finish off. Best of luck to you, Storyfooter.
Thanks.
There you go. Again, Storyfooter, player, of course, for One Trick Pony, joining us there and, talking about several things, their success, Tralf joining them, and good interview there. So
Very good interviewee.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah, he actually did. He
well-spoken.
made the point when we were talking about getting an interview with him. He was like, I might have an accent. I do apologize. And I'm like, that's never usually a big deal. And
It's so funny. I don't know if anyone remembers this person. I know if you guys watched Arrow a lot when he streamed, but Marco, I don't know his last name, but he played under the name of Flora for KD Gaming for a long time. His real name is Marco. He's German as well. He sounds exactly like Storyfooter. And I remember listening to him talk one game. I was like, what, is this Marco? But oh, it's just a side note right there. Shout out to Marco if you're watching.
Maybe. All right, so so we had a couple of interview guests there, both Insania and then Storyfooter. Again, good stuff there. We were in a discussion, so I want to kind of go back where we left off there real quickly, was finishing cycle number 5. So now we're over that. I believe, Beef, we're going to be going to you as far as how do you think cycle 5 is actually going to be finishing here for Han Tour?
Oh, let's open the brackets again here. Stay Green versus the winner of Absolute Legends, Lions. I think I've got to give this to Lions 2-1. I think they're just a little bit more of the experienced team right now. Then against Stay Green, I think I'm going to give that to Stay Green 2-1. I think that they've still got a little bit of momentum from their series last weekend. I think TDM will take out OTP. Like I just said, I think that the strategy that OTP has been employing might be a little bit more exposed, and teams might be a little bit more prepared for it coming into this weekend. That being said, I think that going up against Stay Green, I think they might have another shot against Stay Green this weekend. So I'm going to say OTP versus TDM once again in the finals, but TDM takes that series.
All right, so getting OTP all the way, and that's a good point. I mean, OTP did take them out 2-0 earlier in the cycle. So, as far as I'm concerned, I got to go pretty similar. To me, as much as I want a great series tomorrow, I do think Lion Esports Club, the experience for them lately and the runs that they've kind of been on, I think it's just a little bit going to be too much for AL to handle. I do have them 2-0 over AL. Then State Green versus Lions. I do have State Green defeating Lions, but 2-1 there. And then actually, so State Green against One Trick Pony, because I cannot see them beating TDM in the winners bracket finals, again, as crazy as that would be. But we'll see. We'll see. Love to be surprised. Maybe 2-0 there. Maybe 2-1 actually, TDM. I can see OTP taking a game. But OTP, I agree with you, Beef. And again, I look back at that 2-0 State Green there earlier on in the cycle. Clearly they've beaten them before. They can do it again. So I have 2-1 OTP there. But then I do have TDM winning it all. Let's say 3-1 in the grand final, so to give OTP a game. But hey, you know what? Even finishing third, a top 3 finish for OTP, it's got to be a good feeling. If they could do further, that would just kind of add to it. So,
do you know what's great is that 4 months ago, this conversation would have been over 5 minutes ago.
Oh yeah,
20 minutes ago, it would have been Complexity versus TDM. Complexity wins. Like, that's awesome. This is great.
Yeah, the first
like
2 cycles
Yeah.
started out like that as well, remember? I mean, it was TDM Complexity. TDM, and all the results were like the same, but then cycle 3 is where it really, really started to change with Q Squad and State Green, and then a lot of other crazy results. So,
And I just want to touch on the top 6 that we're looking at right now. AL back in the top 6 for the first time since cycle 1. OTP here for the first time, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice to see that we're not seeing the same top 6. I mean, a few months ago, like you said, you could definitely predict it, but nice to see the variance.
it's the second time OTP has been top 6. Checking on my stats real quickly. They were 5th, 6th in cycle number 2. But
okay.
This will, again, be their absolute best finish so far. So, yeah, it is. It's, we bring that up here on Honcast quite often because it's just true. You really like to reiterate that it's Hon Tour it's a success, man. It's a huge success, I think it's safe to say, and it's even going better than a lot of us expected. It's obviously a good thing. So, anyways, going to be a great weekend. Now, it's a kind of a cool segue there that leads into, well, the Honcast community rankings, I think, is good to kind of transition into here. Of course, the Honcast community rankings, the official rankings, they did come out yesterday on Honcast.com. We'll actually show those at the end, though, as I want to go through here and actually get our personal takes on who we have in our top 10 lists and a little bit of why. So I actually want to start off a little bit different here. We're going to start with Beef here for his top 10. So putting you on a spot.
There you go.
Beef, your top 10. Who do you got?
All right, I've got Trademark Esports number 1, Stay Green number 2. I've got Lions coming in at number 3, Q Squad at number 4, Complexity Gaming at number 5, OTP, TT Esports, Orange Esports Malaysia, Absolute Legends coming in at number 9, and then I had We Are Spies at number 10.
Okay.
I think that Lions has just been looking so good recently. I mean, their recent dominance over Complexity is one of the reasons that Cole dropped down to the 5th place. Q Squad, I think they've been getting a little bit easier side of the bracket than Complexity lately. Otherwise, it's really close between Q Squad and Complexity for me. But just the sheer fact that Complexity 7th, 8th in this last cycle dropped them down to 5th. TT Esports also dropped a few places just with their new roster. Kind of a bad showing in this first cycle with the new roster, but kind of to be expected as well when you're going in with that many changes. AL, they've always been a team that's in the running, but made it into number 9 for me with their top 6 showing right here. And then We Are Spies, The Fire Rises, and Pencils were all in the runnings for that 10th spot for me. I ended up giving it to We Are Spies just because of their consistency over the past few weeks and the fact that they're qualified into that Sound Blasters Heroes League. They're going to be playing in that. And, I mean, I think that they're just a little bit stronger and a little bit more consistent than those other teams.
Yeah. For me, these rankings, there's 2 teams that are really intriguing to me as where they're placed. One is Orange Esports, because let's be honest, Orange Esports, we don't have any results for them other than really DreamHack, and then there was the following, the Malaysian finals tournament, which they ended up winning, of course. And other than that, there really hasn't been any results for us to talk about with them, unfortunately, so it's kind of like, we all know that they're still by all means a great team and can't compete with the best of the best as they've proven time and time, but it's where do you place them when they're not really playing?
Yeah.
So that and then TFR is the other one, and to hear you not putting them in your top 10, again, I can understand that, but it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of follows here as far as where TFR is placed.
They were in the running for that top 10. I went back and forth between 007 and TFR for that number 10 spot. In the end, TFR being that brand new team with no history behind them, I had to leave them out for this week. Maybe in the next couple of weeks, though, they could definitely make a play onto there.
Yeah, for sure. Sam, we're going to throw you up next. What is
Yeah,
your top 10 list
I didn't
look like?
include Orange Esports either. I think that, if we're going to be talking about, top 10, we really need to focus on North America and Europe because I don't think any of us do enough research to truly know what's going on in the other regions. And we can't even compare it ever because they don't face each other.
Yeah.
Orange Esports will be in the Sound Blasters League, and, Han Tour Season 2 will be, international. So, we'll eventually get
All
there.
right.
But as of right now, I don't think we really have enough to base it
Well, there
off
you go.
By the way, on Tour Season 2, just throwing that out there.
We're
Zip
talking
bar.
about the Orange Esports comment.
Yes.
Wait, what did I say?
That wasn't really
Oh, never
said.
mind. Don't worry about what I said. Okay. Whoops. Okay, so I got Trademark Esports coming in first. I got Stay Green coming in second. We got QSQ coming in third. I put Complexity fourth.
Okay.
Sure, Lions and OTP are higher than them, but I think that you guys are crazy if you think that Lions or OTP deserves a ranking higher than Complexity right now. I think that if you gave 10 games, Complexity versus Lions, Complexity versus OTP, or Complexity versus anybody else, I think Complexity would come up on top.
Well, Lions has had about 8 games. So.
Yeah, to be fair, they are
Exactly. So we'll see what happens after 2 more. All right. And then I got Lions, I got OTP, I got TT Esports, Absolute Legends, Team Minstrel.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people ignore Team Minstrel because Pew's on it, which is a valid point. But you can't
Just
deny
gonna
the
be
fact
real.
that they've been in Diamond for 3 times in a
It's
row.
Get ready
True.
for that post,
You're
Sam.
right.
Get ready for that post.
It's true though. I mean, a lot of people dislike him. I'm not gonna sit here and claim that he's a great guy. I mean, I've had my problems with him too. But I think lately that he's even said a lot of encouraging things to me lately.
Results speak for themselves too. I mean, you got to respect that in the end. So
When he first got into Diamond, Pew actually sent me a message. He's like, "Hey, you." I was like, all right, good job. Like, you're in Diamond, but I'll consider you a good team if you can remain in Diamond.
Yeah.
And he remained in Diamond, so I'm gonna give it to him. Pew, good job. You led a team. You're a Diamond level team. You've stayed in Diamond. You've earned your spot. You've earned my respect. I'll put you in my top 10. And I got Pencils. I think top Pencils are a good team. But that 10th spot could have gone to anybody really.
yeah, exactly. Kind of like what Beef was saying there.
Yeah.
Kind of difficult. So. All right. So moving on here is who's next, Tralf? Okay, yeah, we're gonna go with you, Tralf.
Oh, I thought we were going to
Say
save
best
the best
for. Yeah.
All
me.
right.
All right, Tralf. We'll throw you up next. So, what does your top 10 list look like?
Well, my top 10 list, I believe, I don't remember off the top of my head, so I'll have to wait in here. But no question, TDM is number 1, Stay Green number 2, Q Squad number 3, Lions I put at number 4. And now, as far as Complexity and OTP here, I have them like pretty much even. And the reason is I feel OTP is on the rise, whereas Complexity is not. I feel like Complexity is going the other way around. Now, I think that Sam has a valid point as far as pitting Complexity and OTP up against each other. You have 10 games. Complexity may, probably have a better record over
What about
them.
with you on the roster?
But no, then it would be 10 games
Yeah.
OTP. But anyway, but as far as Lions over Complexity, I think there's no question right there. And I think the biggest thing is that I see OTP starting to be a better team, whereas I'm still waiting to see Complexity get out of this slump. And in fact, it seems like they're definitely not out of it with the worst placing they've had so far in all of Hontour for this last cycle. That's my reasoning for those specific standings. After that, Pencils, I think they have a shot. I think they're extremely talented individual players, and I just feel like they get kind of unlucky sometimes. I really do. So I have some hope for them. Maybe that's a wrong placing, and I will accept that. But it's just, I love Zepro, man. I love Zepro.
Well,
So
who doesn't?
Yeah,
What
there
did
you
you
go.
have them at, Tralf?
7.
Pencils? 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
AL at
Awful.
8. I think that, again, this is and the reason for this is that there seemed to be a team on the rise, and I think that deserves a lot of credit. Orange Esports, after Sam was mentioning that, it is very difficult to
It
actually
is,
find
yeah.
a place for them because they don't play any of the NAU teams, especially as of late. So that's my reason for that. TD Esports, I have them actually at 10, much lower than you guys do, simply because I think they're a team that after the roster changes, it severely hurt them.
Yeah.
And I'll have to wait and see and wait until they can prove something to me that shows me that they are on the rise. But until then, they're going to sit number 10 for me.
Yeah. So again, I feel what you're saying for the Orange Esports, and well, with that said, I think we'll just go ahead and into my top 10, my personal top 10 here, rankings that I got. So maybe a little bit of surprises coming at you, but Safe to say, Trademark Esports #1, and it was unanimous. We will talk about that, I guess, when we show the official. But TDM #1, there's no argument that at this point, absolutely not. Stay Green #2, kind of a similar story, I think. It's very hard to argue them not #2. Then it starts to get a little interesting. I personally put Q Squad third because just their consistency success is the most impressive to me. OTP is fourth for me. Now let me explain this here. So OTP fourth, Lions fifth. Two reasons why I have OTP fourth over Lions there. One is that, well, most recently they did take them out of course in Han Tour, and OTP is on a great run now. They are looking very good as far as their play is concerned. And then on top of that, the overall head-to-head matchup, OTP is 7-4 overall with a 3-1 series lead over Lions. So
Yep.
I had to lean with OTP over them as that fourth and fifth place spot. I do get what you're saying about complexity, obviously, Sam, but in the end, I still think complexity, as Tral put it, it's a team that honestly just has kind of been on the fall, and just this cycle is just another example of that. With where they finished, granted, it was a tough spot where they had to face Stay Green, where they got knocked out, but that's just sometimes how it works out. So TT Esports for me in that, what is that? That's a 7th place spot. Orange, I put 8th. Again, I do get what we're saying, though. AL has been impressive with their run lately in this cycle, so I had to put them 9th there. And then I did go ahead and put on the Fire Rises, which I'm looking at. I guess I am the only one out of our 4 to put them on the list. But, again, it's a case of, for me, this team has all the potential in the world. Sure, they're only few games in, but they took a game off of TDM. They could have won the series. And no doubt a team that's going to be scary once things start getting rolling. So, earned a top 10 for me. So, there you go. There you go with the top 10 rankings for individually. And I'm guessing, so now do we have the official rankings that we want to show here? Or maybe I could, okay, we'll just do that. Yeah, let me actually just pull it up real quickly. So now just to get an idea of how it actually played out according to the official rankings. So there you go. Can switch over now, but Trademark Esports, as I said, they ended up being first place overall. All 12 first place votes. Again, you can't really argue that. Stay Green, they got all second place votes. Q Squad finished third, but barely over Lions. They only beat them by 1 point actually. So it was a very close place for third place there. But Q Squad third, Lions fourth. Complexity and One Trick Pony did ultimately tie at 5th place actually, as a result of all the votes adding up. So. Kind of looking at that there. TT Esports in 7th. Orange finishing up at 8th. Absolute Legends at 9th. And then TFR and Pencils actually tied at 10th place as well. So a couple of ties in there. And again, to give you an idea of what ultimately kind of at least the 12 voters in the community think as far as our Honcast community ranking. So
I was literally the only person that put Team Minstrel, huh?
There was... Yes. You were the only team that put, and you said it, your reasons. I do agree with you, and actually, when I was going to do my stats thing as well, I did include them, and it's compared to a lot of teams that are on the list, they actually do have better stats. I mean, we probably should start looking at this team a little bit more. So
I had them up there last week, not this week, though.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
So they got something at least.
I think next week you guys should do like a point system where
go.
you can see who wins.
Yeah. Yeah. Against what do you mean by that?
Well, like you could just it's like you guys make your predictions for who you think are the top 10, and then you
what?
And then you.
I think you guys. cut
no,
off.
I don't think they can. Are you talking on the stream?
Yeah, here we go. Yeah.
Okay.
They couldn't hear me.
Killer
Yeah,
Orange was talking to me. So.
Oh, I was just saying. I think you guys should, when you guys do your rankings, you should put them against the community rankings and see how many points you get and like compete against each other.
Yeah, that could be a fun idea. I can change it up a little bit right there. Something to think about.
There you go.
All right. But yeah, so there you go. Once again, the Honcast community rankings there. Show your face, Killer Orange, they say. He never will. He's just the voice.
It's too attractive. He'd get spotted by Abercrombie scouts. We'd
Totally.
lose him as their producer.
Yeah.
Totally. All right, we are losing out on time here, so I do want to keep it going. There is still another thing that I really want to talk about here, and again, this was kind of breaking news coming on a Honcast. Big shout out to Sam for this, kind of special surprise here. But, well, I do have them on my screen right now, but this whole GSL event, so again, the GSL is just being labeled the Green Star League, I believe is what it stands for. This is that Thailand event that's at the end of March, of course, that eventually will include 32 teams in total. 16 from Thailand, and then the other 16 from all over the world, including 2 teams from the North American European region, where we have these qualifiers. This is going to be the first one coming up starting this week, and then the next one will be 2 weeks from now, where there's $60,000 ultimately on the line, a chance to go to Thailand and compete, and it's a big deal to say the least. Anyways, the brackets for the GSL Star League, the qualifier number 1, were actually just released. So if we want to go ahead and transition here, as you can see, guys. Here you go. We got some matchups to talk about for sure. Again, this starts on Monday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's a single elimination, best out of 3. It's we get shit done basically. You play the one series. If you win, you go on. If you lose, there ain't no second chances.
Are the finals going to be best of 5?
For the qualifiers, I don't believe so.
No. Okay.
Nah.
No, it's just a straight best of 3 all the way through. So,
no lube, huh?
Moving on. So again, as far as how these teams were determined, it's actually the top 16 teams. So
on points.
On points as a result of after the first 4 cycles.
Yes,
So
and one thing to keep in mind is that I had to skip a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Fuck You Curdy disbanded. Call It Karma disbanded. The Fire Rises, not enough points. Dendy's, Dungles, Devos disbanded. So actually the 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th teams got invited.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So again, there are some great matchups to talk about here. You look all down the line, and as far as the first round goes, I'm kind of looking at it. Just I like the Q Squad teams. Go figure, they get matched up against each other in the very first round.
Can we bring up the brackets again real quick?
Yeah, if I want to actually pull those back up for the viewers to see. There you go. As far as the first round matchups, honestly, nothing is. I guess I don't know. TT Esports Pencils, maybe. We Are Spies, Absolute Legends. That could also be another pretty good one. Other than that, maybe expecting victories for certain teams, but so it might start off a little slower, but going into the second round is where it's really.
Well, look at what we see, and this is very similar brackets, honestly, to the Haunter system, and
yeah,
this is the one thing that I had to say too about that. I hope that maybe we can see this in the next season, but is basing the rankings off of that cycle from the previous cycle, not overall standings, because we have seen a lot of the same matchups every single week. As if you look at, we're going to see most likely Stay Green versus OTP. We're going to see Lions versus Complexity, like we see every single time. We're going to see Cube Squad versus TT Esports. It's just and then finally TDM versus, I can't even see up there. That one shifts around, it seems, because that seems to be what the lowest or the lower ranked people coming up into that top spot against TDM, which is always first.
Yeah.
And so because of that, it does seem to be a little bit stale in that sense, where we see a lot of the same matchups.
Actually, I finally thought of my rebuttal against that, Tral.
All right, let's hear it.
The reason why I did that, I actually thought about this before, and I remembered. The reason why it's set up that way is because with a double elimination tournament, 9th and 8th, 7 and 6, they all get eliminated at the same time, so it has to be based off of points to seed them. Because teams are eliminated at the same ranking. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not quite following you here.
So
I get that, but it seems like a simple fix to that would be then you just go to the points that they have, but just between those teams, and then see them accordingly.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We could look at it. I'll pull some competitors at the end. I don't know. I don't mind it that much. I think that whoever's in first place deserves to be first place, and they should play against the lowest team, no matter what. If they have the least points, that's who they should play.
I think the teams that are, like, say you have a team that's just not very good in the standings, and like for instance, say TFR, if they came in here, they had 0 points, but then they win Diamond. I feel like they should be rewarded by getting that first spot in the next cycle, not penalized because they just simply don't have enough points. I think it should reward the teams that are up and coming and performing better that last cycle.
Okay, I see that. I see that. I personally think that you should be rewarded for performing consistently, and that by performing, if you win 3 cycles in a row and on the 4th cycle you get 5th place, when we go into the 5th cycle, you should get that first seat because you've proven that you're the best team over a course of 8 weeks. That's my experience. That's like almost saying, no, that's a stupid analogy, but I don't. That's what I think. But I understand what you say. At the end of the season, I'll pull all the competitors. If more people feel like you do, then I'll change it. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's at the very least, I think, something that it's just one of several things. As great as Hunter is, there's always room for improvements. I mean, there's always a lot of information we're going to get from this first season here to use going to the next one, as you've talked about several times, Sam. I mean,
yeah.
So it's that's definitely just another thing on the list that could definitely be brought up. So, yeah. So, anyways, those are the brackets there for the qualifiers, and again, that starts on Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern. We will be covering that on Honcast, and I don't actually, Beef, do you plan on covering that as well, or are you going to be doing the Sound Blaster?
Yeah, I definitely plan on covering the rounds of 16, 8, and 4, and then you guys, I assume, will do the finals.
Yeah, on the
16,
Thursday, I
8,
believe it is.
4, yeah, it seems
okay.
right.
So yeah, so it's again Monday, Tuesday. Really, when you look at Honcast, as far as our schedule is concerned, we're going to be casting pretty much quite a bit here in the near future. Not only this week with Hunter, but then on Monday all the way through the week. Basically every single day for the next couple of weeks here, we're going to be having something on Honcast as far as especially the match goes. So yeah, definitely look forward to a lot of good activity and some content coming out, guys. And again, this qualifier event, just because of what is on the line, the trip to Thailand, I mean, the chance to compete, and let's be honest, a very good chance to win a good portion of that $60,000 prize pool. It's a damn big deal. And I know a lot of people may lean towards TDM. So with that said, I think I'll go ahead and put that out there. This first qualifier. Do we all? I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, do you think Trademark Esports has this in the books, or is it maybe going to be a little bit closer than people expect? Trell?
I think it's a new bracket. It's a brand new tournament. There's the points dictate what spot you're in, but it's like a clean slate basically, and I think that's going to give a lot more confidence to the teams that don't have exactly the highest placing in Hunter right now. So I wouldn't necessarily just say it's a blowout and an easy win for Trademark Esports. I think it's going to be a great tournament. So it's literally impossible for me to tell you exactly who I think is going to win, but if I had to, I say stay green.
Really?
Yep, I say stay green.
Chessie, I believe, is moving in. When is he moving
this
in?
Week.
I thought it was supposed to be this week, yeah, but is he there
right.
yet?
He's having visa issues, I heard.
Is he? Okay. So, well, that's going to be interesting to see if he ultimately is going to be in Miami once this starts or not, but okay, so stay green. Sam, you have a take? Who do you think is going to win?
TDM.
TDM? Think they just have it in the books?
Yeah.
I see the Solstice picker in the background.
Oh, God. She turns around. Oh, I love it. It's like, crap. What about the Learnatorium? He did a great job with that, by the way. I actually watched a couple Learnatorium videos the other day, and even as skilled of a player I am, I learned some things. He's entertaining to watch. So, anyways, Beef, how do you think this is going to play out?
I've got to go TDM as well. You got Stay Green, One Trick Pony, Complexity, and Lions all on the bottom side of that bracket. That is a huge amount of competition that they will not have to be facing until the finals. So I think TDM's got this.
That's a good point. I mean, you do look at the top portion, and I know a lot of people, especially these single elimination, you look at the top compared to the bottom. You got your top portion, you got TDM, then after that, sure, you got AL007, Q Squad, and then TT Esports Pencils, but
it's basically just Q Squad.
I'm sorry, just Q Squad.
I'm sorry to the other teams, but it really is just Q Squad and TDM. But yeah, Beef makes a really, really good point.
And then in the bottom portion, Stay Green, OTP, Mist, Lion, and Complexity, of course.
Dobron Damp.
Dobron Damp.
Shout out to Notra, by the way.
Forget about those guys.
Yeah. Shout out to Porch. He was so upset that he was not going to be a part of this invite qualifier thing, and now he's here. So shout out to Porch of Dobron Damp. He's really happy that he's going to be in this.
That's good. It's good. They're going to be playing Complexity first round, but
as always, they're going to play Complexity in the first round. They've had them 2 rounds in a row now, I think, for Haunter or something like that.
Surprises. All right. So yeah, there you go. Those are the first qualifiers. Again, this is the first qualifier, so the winner of this is going to be one of the 2 teams. The next team to qualify will come with the second one where that starts. So this one's the 11th. The next one starts the 25th, I believe, of February. So 2 weeks later, basically. And then after that, we'll know the 2 teams that are going to Thailand. And that is going to be epic. Epic indeed.
There actually might be a change to the bracket, by the way.
A change to this bracket?
For the Thailand bracket, yeah.
How so?
I guess I received bad information when I found out that Call It Karma was no longer a team. Call It Karma is ranked high enough to be able to be put into this.
Okay.
So most likely the bottom ranked team, which would be another dimension, would get replaced by Call It Karma.
Oops.
Except Call It Karma would be higher ranked, and Trademark would be facing Doberon Dam.
Damn it.
So maybe it isn't finalized.
So phew, they don't have to play Flexi. Now they have to
Oh,
play Trademark.
yeah.
Now they get Trademark. Okay, so hopefully those are updated by later on today, of course. It sounds like that could be. And then you'll be good to go. Anyways, you get the general idea of what the brackets look like there for the first qualifier for GSL. So, yeah, so that is going to be fun. Again, the coverage for that starts on Monday every day here on Honcast at least. Sounds like Beef also going to be covering it. It starts at 4 o'clock Eastern. That's 1 p.m. Pacific. And, of course, that is 2200 Central European Time. Yes. So later on in the evening for the European crowd. One last thing I wanted to talk about here. Beef actually brought this up. So, Beef, I'll let you go ahead and take the reins on this one.
Whoa. All right.
The CIS show match, I'll actually have it pulled up on my screen right here if you want to go to that. But, yeah, so if you want to just explain what you see of this and what's going to be going on.
Well, basically, it just looks like it's a really cool event that Garena CIS is putting on, doing an 8-team show match tournament. They, of course, invited the 4 CIS team, Cats Gaming, QAM, GZ, and I don't know what their full names are here. Yeah, I guess those are the full names. I recognize Cats, of course, from there. The other one's not too familiar with. And from the European scene, they've invited QSQ, OTP, Mistral, and Pikachu. And they're going to be doing best of ones all the way to the semifinals and finals. And it should be a really cool 8-man tournament taking place this Saturday. $750 prize pool for just a one-night tournament. Should be fun.
Yeah. Is there coverage for this? Do we know? I'm guessing, official stream. Is this, I'm guessing it's the, no, it didn't go anywhere.
Is the whole tournament being played that one day and on Saturday?
I believe so.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it's really late at night.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know that. That's why there's no NA teams, because it would be like 3 o'clock in the morning for NA.
Oh, wait, that late for NA. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah, with the Russian time over there. So 12 Central European time. Okay, yeah. So again, kind of just we were looking at that too. So it's a one-day thing. It's a smaller event for sure, but it is cool to see these regions kind of having the competitions against one another, because ultimately Hong can definitely and most certainly is a international game. And, let's be honest, the Russian teams may not have had the best performances at the DreamHacks that they've been to, but there was some entertaining play, to say the least. I know Cats Gaming at the recent one. They were actually fun to watch in a couple of their matches. So, and, you got some good representation from Europe. Q Squad, OTP, Mistral, and Pikachu representing the European region there. So, yeah, it should be a fun, small event. Hopefully, we'll get more information on exactly where that'll be streamed and get some advertisement out there for that. So there you go. Other than that, I think we are good to be wrapping up here. I want to throw it around. Was there anything else from you guys that you really wanted to talk about before we called it a show here?
Hey, Beef.
Yeah, what's up?
They're going to be casting the Sound Blaster finals. Any chance you're going to be casting the Gold League?
I wasn't planning on it, but I might be able to.
That's Clan Milk's playing.
Oh, Clan Milk
Sam
versus
wants to watch
Habit?
Yeah, it's going to be a really good series.
Maybe. We'll see. I
I'm
was
just saying there's like thousands of
people.
people that want
There's
to watch.
a lot of people that want to watch.
My Facebook just blew up and said, "Please cast
Beef.
Clan Milk."
Twitch
Past
chat
this
is going
match.
nuts right now. Oh my God, Clan Milk!
We'll see.
Wow.
We'll see. Thanks for putting me on the spot about that, by the way, Sam.
No, I'm just saying that a lot of people are chanting it.
A lot of people. Yeah, I'm not gonna help Sammy. What am I doing? All right.
We'll see.
So
We'll see.
possibility is there, but a certainty is we will be coming back at you as Sam mentioned here on Honcast. So we're gonna take a short break here, and there's a couple things to note about that. We're not gonna reset the stream because there's no delay that is necessary. as a result of the match actually did get played earlier on today. Unfortunately, the teams were not able to play at the default time, so they ended up playing earlier on today. So we're actually going to be doing some good old-fashioned replay casting here on Honcast. And, from what I was told at least, it apparently was a pretty damn good series. That will be DMSN from another dimension, of course, going up against Buy Team.
Those guys.
These guys, Buy Team, who had some issues recently with Han Tour, to say the least.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Anyways.
Wait, were they the team that didn't show up because of it?
No, they showed up.
They trolled all the other teams.
Their team name is Buy Team, so it's like labeled Buy as their tag, and so a team apparently thought that they had a buy, and little did they know they actually ended up
so
forfeiting.
messed up, man.
It's
it was really
up.
messed up. I felt so awful.
Oh my god.
It's pretty messed up. So, anyways, these guys apparently they got some skill. I mean, they're here in the qualifier finals against TMSN. So, we'll see who these guys are. These bad-mannered players, these guys. Anyways, so that will be coming up after a short break here on Honcast. I do want to throw it around, though, of course, and give you guys a chance for last-minute shout-outs here, wrapping the show up. So, Sam, we'll start with you.
Shout out to Killer Orange for making this happen, and Breaky. Shout out to Trals, last podcast you'll ever be on. Well,
Ever.
as like a host.
Forever.
I'm sure you'll be on as a guest multiple times. Like, oh, you just won Han Tour Cycle 6, 7, 8, and Thailand Game Show. How do you feel? But yeah, I'm gonna miss you. So it's nice to see you guys. Shout out to all my coworkers, and that's it. I'm sick. Come on.
Nice catch. Beef, what do you got?
Well, first and foremost, thanks to Complexity Gaming, my sponsors, my team, all the sponsors over there, Sound Blaster, Origin, QPad, PNY, and Twitch for everything that they do for esports and Han and all the things that they do with the team and the events. Sound Blaster in particular for the Sound Blaster Heroes League, which you guys are going into right now. And then also to Emperor for all the casting he does with me. Porch, because he's awesome. Nova, he casted with me somewhat this week, and he's just an awesome guy in general. My mom, because I know she's going to watch this. And that's going to be it. Thanks to you guys. Don't laugh, man. My mom watches like a lot of my casts.
Yeah,
like you don't even know.
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah.
This guy.
Couldn't even get me on Trals Mall.
She'll be there in chat.
He's probably there
Hi,
already.
Tral.
I'm gonna check.
Hey, kiddo. How you doing? You're looking good.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started.
Hey, when I said to my mom the other day, I was like, yeah, Trout's leaving Honcast. She's like, oh, where's he going? And I'm like, she's going to join OTP. And I was like, that's like the number. She's like, you don't need to tell me who OTP is. I know who they are. And I was like,
That's awesome.
Okay, that's next level
That
shit
is
right
next
there.
level,
Woo!
and that is awesome.
it's weird, man. It's weird. Love you, Mom.
All these people are like going to be claiming to be Tral's mom. They're like, "Oh, hi, honey." All right.
I know her name.
She has her specific. Don't want to say it though. Don't want to say it. Tralf, any shout-outs from you?
Well, shout out to Breaky. It's been an awesome casting with you. Shout out to Matt. Killer Orange. Everyone here at S2 and Honcast has been a lot of fun. Specifically Sam and Nate and especially Aaron. Funniest guy I've probably ever met in my life. He's absolutely hilarious. You think of him as the traitor of S2 by creating Solstice, but no, he's hilarious and awesome. So, and then shout out to my girlfriend Lisa. Really proud of her for getting that job in Vancouver. It's gonna be a lot of fun moving there. So, yeah.
All right, so we're going to be wrapping things up here as far as me. Shout out to you guys for tuning in as always. Shout out to Tralf Medora, last podcast, man. But we got the casting forever. No, I'm like Sam. We'll have you come on as guest and whatnot. But this weekend, it's going to be the final cast for Tralf. But also, we got Han Tour Cycle number 5 going to be wrapping up, and it is going to be a blast. So definitely check it out for many, many reasons. But sit tight, though, guys. With that said, again, the Sound Blaster Qualifier number 6 finals going to be coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Sit tight, hang out, grab a snack. We'll be back. Game number 1 of that series coming up. Until next time, have a good night, guys. We'll see you in just a little bit.